Welcome back to Outside the Huddle on CST. The Saints Super Bowl season was, for all of WhoDat Nation, a work of art. But now Drew Brees and Sean Payton have joined with a local artist to create another masterpiece. For more than 2 decades, Michael Hunt has created some of the world's most unique and collectible limited editions. Many of these posters and fine art prints have been signed by entertainers and athletes who have joined with the artist to raise money and awareness for worthwhile causes. And in fact, over the last year, Hunt has raised more than $100,000 for the Brees Dream Foundation. And for his latest, and what he considers to be his greatest project, both Brees and Payton have joined with Hunt to create a special print that celebrates the recovery of New Orleans. In early 2009, when the project was conceived, little did they all know that the city was about to make history again, and the print would come to represent so much more.
I met Drew personally in 2007, and it was at Mardi Gras time. I was doing a piece of artwork for the crew of Bacchus that had James Gandolfini, that was the king. You know, we had a friendship right away. It just clicked right away, and for years, we didn't do anything. You just, hey man, how you doing? Yeah, I mean, we're friends, but it was never right, and we would always joke around. And I'd say, one day it's going to be right, and you and I are going to do something really neat. So in 2009, Drew said, I want to do something that's going to represent the recovery of the city. That, let's do a piece, but I don't want this piece to be all about football. He says, I want this piece to be all about the different aspects of the city. I want it to be about music. I want it to be about Mardi Gras. All the different, I want when somebody sees it, them to say, oh, I get it. These are all the wonderful things that we almost lost during Katrina. And it was a fantastic concept. It was such a selfless concept. It is a project that took a lot longer than I think most people could ever imagine because of the unique production aspects of it. It's very difficult when you see a picture of it online, to realize what it looks like in person. It took over 5 different printers all across the country to produce this print because of the different techniques that were involved in it. The entire concept was to create 2010 super high-end limited edition prints that would be signed by Drew and myself. And then when we had the opportunity for Coach Payton to come on board, we said, this is just, how do you say no? It was the perfect fit. So we took a small portion and we made a separate edition that Coach Payton signed as well as Drew signed. And what's unique about those was that he actually signed, Super Bowl MVP on there. And it was the first time that he had ever signed Super Bowl MVP on anything, any poster. Naturally, it was a perfect fit. That Brees Dream benefit, by a large portion of sales that come during this time. And the Hope Lodge, the Patrick Taylor Hope Lodge, which helps parents whose children are being treated for cancer. It's a place to say, it's like a Ronald McDonald House. It's wonderful. Well, Drew, Brees Dream Foundation, Brittany, they took on renovating all these different rooms, and their idea was to give a different artist kind of like a different room, and they could do it accordingly. Well, they talked to me about that, and I said, well, let's take a large percentage of the poster sales and let's go to there, and then maybe that can offset a lot of it. And so it was perfect. There was this thing that was going on about President Obama's birth certificate. At the time I came up with the idea, it was like this big deal. And I can remember turning to my wife and I said, now you see, if he was a member of the WhoDat Nation, he wouldn't have a problem. He could just tell him that. No one would care down here. And so, she laughed. Well, the next morning, I said, there should be an official WhoDat Nation certificate of citizenship that would have the individual's name done in calligraphy on it. That would just be, something really special that would be like a really high-end doctor's diploma, but that a fan could hang on the wall. But first it started out as a joke, and then I started doing the artwork for it, and it was really neat. It was coming out, we just refining it over months. And with Christmas coming up, I said, okay, so let's go ahead and put it out, and let's put it out for. I mean, you can get 2 of these for $20 each. I mean, they're like $24 for one, or you get 2 for $20 each. It's something that any fan can have, and that's obviously the whole opposite end of the spectrum. But I wouldn't be surprised if you went into somebody's home and you saw a $350 print such as that with a WhoDat certificate of citizenship, $20 right next to it.